I recently faced my own worst nightmare. The HOA president just stood in my driveway calling 911, claiming my BMW was hers. The reason? She said I couldn't afford that model, so I must have stolen it. Funny thing is, the only thing stolen that day was her power after she made a fool of herself. Let me start from the beginning. I hit the button, the door rises. My 2019 blue BMW shines. I'm not going anywhere. I just need the torque wrench from the red toolbox. The sun hits the hood. I worked hard. I saved. It's mine. I'm Liam Miller in my quiet garage. Then comes the sound, not from the street, but from the edge of my driveway. A shriek, a sharp, theatrical sound designed for maximum attention. I straighten up from my toolbox and turn. Standing there, framed by the opening of my garage, is Brenda Foster. She is the president of our homeowners association, our HOA. 3 letters that can suck the joy out of the word home. Brenda is immaculate. She wears a floral pink cardigan over a white blouse. Short blonde hair, neat and sharp. Her smile is usually a weapon of mass pleasantness, but her smile is gone. Her face is a twisted mask of outrage. Her perfectly manicured finger is pointing, shaking, aimed right at my car. Thief, she screams. The word echoes in the quiet cul-de-sac. A few neighbors peek out their windows. Some step out with phones up, recording. Of course they do. A good scream is better than daytime television. You stole my car. I just stand there, torque wrench in my hand. I look at the BMW. I look at her. I look back at the BMW. My brain processes the situation with the calm, detached logic of a man who has seen true chaos before. This is not it. This is theater. Bad theater. I know for a fact Brenda drives a white Lexus SUV. It is always parked in her driveway, polished to a blinding shine. I also know for a fact that this blue BMW is registered in my name, paid for with my money, and insured under my policy. These are small, inconvenient facts in the face of her magnificent performance. That man, she yells to the growing audience of curious neighbors, is a car thief. I am calling the police. She fumbles for her phone, her hands shaking with what I am sure she believes is righteous fury. I can see the gears turning in her head. She is the hero, the protector of the neighborhood, taking down the criminal in broad daylight. She is building her own legend, one shrill accusation at a time. I lean against the toolbox and cross my arms. I do not say a word. Arguing with a hurricane is pointless. You just board up the windows and wait for it to pass. My wife, Olivia, appears at the door leading from the kitchen into the garage. She is holding a spatula. She takes in the scene. Me, the car, the screaming HOA president. She does not miss a beat. Liam, what did we say about stealing cars from the neighbors? She asks, her voice full of mock disappointment. You have a problem, honey. We need to get you help. A small smile touches my lips. This is why I love her. She sees the absurdity. She lives in it with me. Brenda, on the other hand, does not appreciate the humor. She glares at Olivia, then puts the phone to her ear. Yes, 911. I need to report a grand theft auto in progress. The wait for the police is awkward. Brenda stands guard at the end of my driveway, a self-appointed sentinel of justice. I stay in my garage. Olivia brings me a glass of iced tea. We watch. The neighbors retreat back inside their homes, the show now entering a slow intermission. Finally, a patrol car rolls up. 2 officers get out. I recognize them, Officer Davis and Officer Russo. What is the situation, ma'am? Officer Davis asks Brenda, his voice flat. They are good cops, but they have the weary look of men who have answered too many ridiculous calls in suburbs like this one. Brenda points and screams, "Arrest that thief." The whole street hears it. He stole it. Karen points at me. That is my car. My brand new BMW. He must have somehow gotten the keys. And she launches into a wild, speculative narrative. Officer Davis listens patiently, his eyes occasionally flicking over to me. I give a small, slow shrug. Eventually, Officer Davis holds up a hand, stopping her mid-sentence. He and Officer Russo walk up my driveway. Sir, can we have a word? Of course, officer, I say calmly. Come on in. Watch your step. I lead them to the car. This is your vehicle? Officer Russo asks, his notepad out. It is, I say. I have the title, registration, and insurance card in the glove compartment. Would you like to see them? Please, Officer Davis says. I open the car, pull out the documents, and hand them over. They look them over. Officer Davis walks to the front of the car, reads the vehicle identification number off the dash, and radios it in. We all wait. I can hear the dispatcher's voice squawking back. The car is clean, registered to one Liam Miller at this address. No liens, no reports of it being stolen. Officer Davis sighs, a deep, soul-cleansing sigh. Everything seems to be in order here, Mr. Miller. He turns and walks back to Brenda, who is vibrating with impatience. Ma'am, the vehicle is registered to him. It is his car. No arrest, no crime, only her claim. That is impossible, she sputters. He must have forged the documents. He is a criminal. Brenda, Officer Russo says, his patience clearly gone. We know your car. You drive a white Lexus. We have run the plates a dozen times for your parking complaints. This is not your car. You are filing a false report. That is a crime. Her face goes pale. The fury is replaced by a flash of cold, calculating anger. She looks from the cops to me. Her eyes narrow. It is a look that says, you won this round, but this is not a game. This is a war. She turns without another word and storms back to her house. The cops give me an apologetic look, get in their car, and drive away. The show is over. Olivia comes over and puts an arm around my waist. Well, she says, that was fun. I think she really wants your car. I think so too. I reply, watching Brenda's front door slam shut. The sun is setting, casting long shadows across the street. The quiet returns, but it is a different kind of quiet now. It is heavy. It is watchful. I look at my beautiful blue car gleaming under the garage lights. I realize it is not just a car anymore. It is a target, and I know with a certainty that chills me to the bone that Brenda Foster has just fired the first shot. 2 days pass. Then the real move comes. After midnight, the opening salvo in Brenda's war is not a cannonball, but a swarm of paper cuts. They start appearing a few days after the driveway drama. Little white envelopes tucked under my door handle. Official letters from the Rolling Gate Homeowners Association. Each one is a violation notice. Each one comes with a fine. The first one is for $50. The reason? My lawn. Apparently, a random independent measurement determined that the grass in one 3-square-inch patch near the sidewalk was 1/4 of an inch taller than the maximum height allowed by Bylaw 7, subsection C, paragraph 4. I read the notice twice. I go outside with a ruler. I cannot find the offending patch of grass. It is brilliant. How do you fight something you cannot even find? Olivia finds it hilarious. 1/4 of an inch? Is she out there with a microscope and a team of tiny surveyors? She laughs and tapes the notice to the refrigerator. We should frame this. I do not laugh. I see it for what it is, a probe, a test of my patience. I pay the fine. I do not want to give her an easy reason to escalate, but I also start a new file, a simple manila folder. I label it Brenda. I put the notice and a copy of the check inside. A week later, another envelope arrives. This one is for $75. The violation, improper display of holiday decorations. The notice helpfully points out that according to the HOA rules, all seasonal decorations must be removed within 7 days of the holiday. My crime. A small festive wreath from Christmas was still hanging on the inside of our front door. It is February. She must have seen it when she was tucking the lawn notice under the handle. She was snooping. The systematic nature of it is impressive in a deranged sort of way. Okay, this is getting less funny, Olivia admits, watching me add the second notice to my folder. She is obsessed. Obsession is her fuel. I say, the folder is getting thicker. The third notice arrives 3 days later. $100. Vehicle parked in driveway displaying excessive glare. My car again. The notice states that the professional wax job on my BMW creates a public nuisance on sunny days, potentially distracting other drivers. I stare at the piece of paper. This is not just harassment. This is art. A masterpiece of petty tyranny. The fines keep coming. A fine for having my garage door open for more than the prescribed 60-minute access window. A fine because a single shingle on the back of my roof looks slightly discolored. A fine because the welcome mat Olivia bought, the one that says "come back with a warrant," is deemed unneighborly and potentially litigious in spirit. Each fine is more creative, more absurd than the last, and each one costs more. 50, 75, 100. I pay every single one on time, with a check. I keep meticulous records. Every notice, every envelope, every canceled check gets filed away. My Brenda folder is becoming a novel. I am calm on the outside. I go to work. I cut my lawn to the exact millimeter she demands. I take down the offending welcome mat. I play the part of the compliant homeowner. But on the inside, a cold, hard knot is forming. This is a siege. She is trying to bleed me out, to make my life so miserable that I will just give up and leave. She thinks I am just another homeowner she can bully into submission. She thinks I will get angry and yell, giving her the ammunition she needs to paint me as an unstable menace. I see her sometimes. When I pull out of the driveway, she will be tending her roses, her eyes following my car down the street. She always gives me a sweet, brittle smile, the smile of a spider watching a fly. The other neighbors are careful around me now. They give me sad, sympathetic looks. Some of them are getting fined, too, but not like me. Mr. Peterson, a sweet old man who lives 2 doors down, gets a violation for his garden gnome. The notice cites the gnome's inappropriate and judgmental facial expression. Mr. Peterson is distraught. He has had that gnome for 20 years. I talked to him one afternoon. "She is a menace, Liam," he whispers, looking around nervously as if Brenda might pop out of a bush. "She was never this bad before. Since she became president, it is all rules and fines. And she has those 2 on the board, Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Scott. They just rubber stamp everything she says. This is key information. She has consolidated power. The board is just an extension of her will. There are no checks, no balances. There is only Brenda." One evening, Olivia and I are sitting on the back porch. The pile of notices is on the table between us. "What are we going to do?" Olivia asks. Her voice is quiet. The humor is gone now, replaced by a genuine weariness. "We cannot live like this. It feels like we are prisoners in our own home." I look at the folder. I look at her tired face. My calm is not just a personality trait anymore. It has become a weapon. She wants me to break. I will not. She wants a fight. I will give her one, but not on her terms. Not with shouting matches on the lawn. This will be a quiet fight. A methodical one. A war fought with paper and proof. She is making mistakes, I say, tapping the folder. She is arrogant. She thinks no one is watching. She is creating a paper trail of her own obsession. Olivia looks at me, a glimmer of the old spark in her eyes. "So, what is the next move, General Miller?" "The next move," I say, "is to watch back." That night, I stay up late, long after Olivia has gone to bed. I am on my computer, not looking at work emails or news articles. I am shopping. I am looking at lenses, resolutions, night vision capabilities, and data storage options. The war of paper cuts is about to end, and the war of surveillance is about to begin. Brenda thinks she is the only one who can watch. She's about to find out how wrong she is. 2 days later, we mount cams. Doorbell, floods, 2 hidden. For views, driveway, door, yard, street. Now I watch back. The first few days are boring. I see the mailman. I see Mr. Peterson walking his dog. I see Brenda pull in and out in her white Lexus. But then, on the 3rd night, I get a motion alert on my phone. It is from the garage camera. I pull up the feed. The timestamp says 11:47 p.m. The floodlight snaps on. The cam catches Brenda measuring cracks with a tape. A week later, another alert, this time from the camera in the living room. It is late afternoon. Brenda is in her own yard, but she has a pair of binoculars, and they are aimed directly at my house, specifically at my car, which is parked in the driveway. She is watching it, studying it. I save the clip. Binocular surveillance. The evidence locker is growing. I am no longer just collecting her paper threats. I am collecting proof of her bizarre, relentless fixation. I have her on video stuffing a new violation notice. This one for unauthorized landscape modifications because Olivia planted 2 new rose bushes into my mailbox, which is a federal offense. I have her peering into my living room window late one night. Each clip is saved, dated, and described in a logbook. Each clip is another nail. Olivia watches the footage with me, her expression a mixture of fear and fury. She's unhinged, Liam. This is not about bylaws anymore. It never was. I say, my voice grim. It was always about the car. The bylaws are just her weapon of choice. Then I catch the big one. It is just after midnight on a Tuesday. A motion alert from the front doorbell. I check the feed on my phone from bed. A beat-up, dark-colored sedan is parked in front of my house. Brenda gets out of her own house and walks over to it. A large, burly man gets out of the sedan. I do not recognize him. He is wearing a dark jumpsuit, the kind a mechanic or a tradesman might wear. They talk for several minutes, standing in the shadows just beyond the range of the streetlights. They are too far away for the camera to pick up their words, but their body language is clear. Brenda points at my house. She points directly at my garage. The man nods. They shake hands. He gets back in his car and drives away. Brenda looks at my house for a long moment, a smug, satisfied look on her face, before turning and going back inside. My blood runs cold. This is different. This is not about petty fines or snooping anymore. She is escalating. She is bringing in outside help. I download the video immediately. I back it up twice. I lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. A man in a jumpsuit. A midnight meeting. A pointed finger at my garage. This is a plan, a conspiracy. This is no longer a war of attrition. This is a planned attack. And I have a terrible feeling I know exactly what is coming next. 2 nights later, my phone buzzes on the nightstand. It is 2:13 a.m. The buzz is sharp, insistent. It is a motion alert, not from the doorbell this time. It is from the camera I hid in the garage, the one aimed directly at the BMW. I sit bolt upright in bed, my heart instantly pounding a heavy rhythm against my ribs. Olivia stirs beside me. "What is it?" she mumbles, half asleep. "Stay here," I whisper. I grab my phone, my fingers slick with sudden sweat. I pull up the live feed. The image is grainy, lit only by the faint moonlight filtering through the garage window, but it is clear enough. The main garage door is closed, but something is wrong. A thin metal wire is snaking under the door. I watch, my breath caught in my throat, as the wire hooks onto the emergency release handle. A sharp tug. The disengagement lever clicks. The connection between the door and the motorized track is severed. This is a professional move. They are not trying to smash their way in. They are trying to be quiet. I swing my legs out of bed and move to the window, peering through the blinds. A vehicle is backing into my driveway. It is a tow truck, a real one, but it is old, rusted, with no company name on the doors, just a string of faded numbers. Its amber lights flash silently, painting eerie, rotating stripes across my neighbor's house. This is it. The midnight meeting was the planning session. This is the execution. 2 men get out of the truck. They are big, dressed in dark, greasy coveralls. One of them is the man I saw talking to Brenda. They move with a quiet confidence that tells me they have done this before. They crouch down and begin to lift the garage door manual. It is heavy, but with 2 of them, it groans upward, inch by inch, revealing the back end of my BMW. My first instinct is to run down there, to scream, to confront them. But my mind screams back, no, strategy, evidence. Yelling will get me hurt. The cameras are my weapon. My phone is my weapon. I look at Olivia. She is wide awake now, her eyes huge in the dim light. "Call 911. I say, my voice steady, betraying none of the adrenaline coursing through my veins. "Tell them there is a theft in progress at our address. Tell them the men are trying to steal a vehicle from inside my locked garage. Tell them I have them on video right now." As Olivia makes the call, I switch my phone to record the live feed from the garage camera. I need my own separate copy. The 2 men are inside the garage now. One gets into the driver's seat of the BMW. It is locked, of course. The alarm should blare, but it doesn't. He uses a bypass tool. The door pops open. He works to put the car in neutral. The other man is outside, unspooling the heavy chain and hook from the back of the tow truck. The sound of the chain dragging on the concrete is a heavy, metallic scrape that echoes in the silent night. It is the sound of my property being violated, my sanctuary being invaded. A cold, protective rage washes over me. How far will a man go to defend his own? I am about to find out. They think I am sleeping. They think this is an easy score, a simple tow and grab sanctioned by a crazy HOA lady. They have miscalculated. They have mistaken my quiet, methodical nature for weakness. They think they are predators stalking their prey in the dark. They do not realize they have walked into a trap. I can hear Olivia's hushed, urgent voice on the phone with the dispatcher. "Yes, they are hooking it up now. Please, you have to hurry." On my phone screen, I watch the heavy tow hook clank against the undercarriage of my car. They are trying to find a place on the frame to latch onto. My beautiful car, my hard-earned prize. They are trying to drag it out of my life, leaving a gaping hole behind. The hook makes a loud scratching sound as it connects. The sound grates on my every nerve. I feel a visceral urge to smash something, to yell, to fight back with my bare hands. But I stay still. I watch. I record. The police will be here any second. The evidence is irrefutable. It is all happening exactly as I feared, but also exactly as I planned for. Suddenly, the tow truck's winch groans to life. The chain goes taut. The BMW lurches backward a few inches, its tires screeching in protest on the smooth concrete. They are actually doing it. They are stealing my car from my own garage while I watch. The audacity is stunning. It is so blatant, so brazen. Brenda must have promised them a lot of money. Or maybe she just promised them there would be no consequences. She promised them I was a nobody who would just roll over and accept it. Another mistake. My blood is like ice in my veins. This is the moment, the point of no return. They have crossed the line from harassment into outright felony. And I have it all on tape. The question is no longer if they will get caught. The only question now is whether the police will get here before my car is gone for good. The distant wail of a siren slices through the night. It grows closer, louder. A beautiful, welcome sound. Down in the driveway, the two men freeze. Their heads snap up. They look at each other, a moment of pure panic on their faces. They were not expecting this. They were told this was a clean, sanctioned job. The man by the winch drops the controls. The other one scrambles out of my BMW, leaving the door hanging open. They make a dash for the cab of the tow truck. They are not sticking around to explain things. They are running. But it is too late. Two police cruisers squeal around the corner, their headlights pinning the tow truck in a blinding glare. It's Officer Davis and Officer Russo again, on the night shift tonight. Red and blue lights flash across the houses, turning our quiet suburban street into a crime scene. I watch from the window as Officer Davis and Officer Russo get out of the lead car, guns drawn, but held low. They are all business. Police, show me your hands. Get out of the truck now. Officer Davis's voice is a thunderclap in the stillness. The two men slowly climb out of the cab, their hands raised high. They look defeated. They look stupid. Officer Russo cuffs them while Officer Davis surveys the scene. The half-open garage door, the tow chain still hooked to the frame of my BMW, the open car door. It is an open and shut case of attempted grand theft auto. I take a deep breath, the adrenaline finally starting to recede, leaving a shaky feeling behind. Olivia puts a hand on my shoulder. They got them, she whispers. They got the hired muscle. I correct her. They have not gotten the snake yet. And as if on cue, a third car pulls up. Not a police car. It is a white Lexus SUV. Brenda Foster gets out. She is wearing a silk robe over her pajamas, her hair a mess, but her face is a mask of practiced concern. She strides onto the scene like she owns it. Officers, thank goodness you are here, she exclaims, her voice ringing with false relief. I called this in. Dispatch logged 2 calls, hers and mine. The cruisers came fast. I almost laugh out loud. The sheer, unmitigated gall of this woman is a thing to behold. Officer Davis turns to her, his expression unreadable. You called this in, ma'am? Yes. This tow was authorized by the HOA, she says, holding up a piece of paper. It is the emergency removal order. I knew she would have one. This vehicle is in violation of multiple bylaws. It is a nuisance. The owner is hostile and uncooperative. We had to act. She is trying to flip the script, to paint herself as the victim, the responsible authority figure forced to take drastic measures. She is good. Very good. Ma'am, Officer Russo says, walking over. These men were breaking into a locked garage to remove the vehicle. That is not a tow. That is burglary and attempted theft. It was an emergency, she insists. The rules are clear. This is my cue. I walk downstairs, open my front door, and step outside into the flashing lights. I am calm. I am holding my phone. Officers, I say, my voice carrying easily in the quiet. Perhaps I can shed some light on the situation. Brenda's head whips around. The look on her face when she sees me is pure venom. The mask slips for just a second. Officer Davis and Officer Russo look at me, then back at her. This is the owner, Mr. Miller, Officer Davis says. He is the criminal. Brenda shrieks, pointing at me. Actually, I say, holding up my phone, I have video of you meeting with one of these men 2 nights ago, pointing at my house. I have video of them breaking into my garage. And I have dozens of hours of footage of you harassing me, snooping on my property, and demonstrating a very clear, very illegal obsession with me and my property. Would you like to see it? I can airdrop it to you right now. Silence. Absolute, beautiful silence. Brenda's mouth opens and closes like a fish. The 2 tow truck drivers look at her with betrayal in their eyes. Officer Davis and Officer Russo exchange a look. This just got a lot more interesting for them. Mr. Miller, Officer Davis says, turning his full attention to me. Let's start from the beginning. First, let's confirm ownership again. He gestures to the BMW. Can you unlock it for me? I click the button on my key fob. The car chirps and the lights flash. Pop the hood. I do. Officer Russo gets a flashlight and begins a formal curbside VIN check, comparing the number on the engine block, the dashboard, and my insurance card. It is procedural, but it is also a show. A show for Brenda's benefit. A demonstration of real authority versus her pretend version. While Officer Russo works, Officer Davis takes me aside. You have all this on video? Everything. Saved and backed up, I confirm. He nods slowly. And her? He asks, jerking his head toward Brenda. She has been waging a campaign of harassment for weeks. It started the day she saw the car. This was her endgame. Officer Russo finishes his check. It is all clean, Davis. Registered to Mr. Miller. No question. Officer Davis turns to Brenda. His voice is dangerously quiet. Brenda, you are walking a very thin line here. A very thin line between being an HOA president and being an accessory to multiple felonies. These two men are going to jail. They say you hired them. We have a homeowner with video evidence of a conspiracy. I am giving you a warning right here, right now. Stop this. Go home. Do not speak to Mr. Miller. Do not look at his house. Do not even think about his car. Is that understood? Brenda is shaking, but not with fear, with rage. Her plan has crumbled. She has been exposed, embarrassed. She looks at me, and the hatred in her eyes is so pure it is almost tangible. She knows she cannot win this battle. Not tonight. But her look tells me she has no intention of surrendering the war. She gets in her Lexus and peels out, tires squealing in protest. The tow truck is impounded. The two thugs are taken away in the back of a squad car. The street slowly returns to normal. But I know this is just a temporary victory. A police warning is just a piece of paper. It will not stop a woman like Brenda Foster. She will not back down. She will double down. She will find a new way to attack, a way that is more clever, more insidious, and cloaked in the letter of the law. I have won the battle of the midnight tow, but now I need to win the war. And I realize, standing in my driveway at 3 o'clock in the morning, that I cannot do it alone. I need an army. The morning after the attempted tow, the neighborhood is buzzing. The story has already spread, mutating with each telling. Some say I fought off a gang of car thieves. Others say the HOA had a SWAT team raid my house. The truth is quieter, but far more unsettling. I know I need to control the narrative. I need to consolidate my forces. My one-man intelligence operation is not enough anymore. It is time to recruit. My first stop is Mr. Chen's house. He is a retired accountant who served as the HOA treasurer for 10 years before Brenda staged a no-confidence vote and had him replaced with one of her cronies, Mr. Thompson. Mr. Chen is sharp, meticulous, and he holds a serious grudge. He opens the door before I even knock. He has a grim look on his face. I saw the commotion last night, Liam, he says, ushering me inside. I am not surprised. I am only surprised it took her this long. I spend an hour laying it all out for him. The fines, the surveillance, the midnight meeting, the tow truck. I show him the videos on my phone. He watches, his jaw tightening. The bylaws, he says, his voice a low growl. She is weaponizing them. She twists every word to suit her agenda. But her real weakness, Liam, is the money. It has to be. Power like that is expensive. He agrees to help. He wants to see the books. He wants to find the rot. Next, I visit Ms. Ortiz, the tech teacher. She lives 3 houses down. She is young, brilliant, and deeply annoyed by Brenda's Luddite approach to community management. She was fined for having a Wi-Fi signal that was unnecessarily strong and leaking into public airspace. I find her grading papers on her tablet in a backyard filled with smart sprinklers and solar-powered lights. She listens to my story, a wry smile playing on her lips. So, the queen has escalated from petty tyrant to felon. Classic character arc. I show her the footage. She is impressed by my camera setup. You need to build a case file, she advises, a digital one. Encrypted, redundant backups. We need to create a timeline of her harassment, complete with video evidence, email records, and signed affidavits from other victims. If this goes to court, or even just to a full community meeting, we need to present an undeniable mountain of proof. She is in. She will be my chief technology officer, my digital archivist. My last recruit is the most unlikely. His name is Marcus. He is a young man in his early 20s who lives in the rental townhouse at the end of the street. I have seen him around, but we have never spoken. I knock on his door. He answers, looking wary. Can I help you? He asks. I take a chance. I show him a still frame from my video of the tow truck. I need to know who owns this truck, I say. He looks at the picture. His face goes hard. He looks up at me. Why? They tried to steal my car last night from inside my garage. He is quiet for a long moment. He looks past me, down the street toward Brenda's house. That has Sal's towing written all over it, he says, his voice bitter. I used to drive for them. I quit last month. Sal does these special jobs for cash. No questions asked. He calls them dispute resolutions. The pieces click into place. Brenda did not just find a random tow company. She found a corrupt one. Why did you quit? I ask. Because of jobs like this, he says. We towed a guy's work van from his own apartment complex. He was a contractor. All his tools were inside. Sal told us the building manager said it was abandoned. It was not. The guy just missed one rent payment. They auctioned his van and everything in it the next day. I could not do it anymore. He looks me in the eye. That HOA president, the blonde lady, she is bad news. She came to the yard and talked to Sal herself a few weeks ago. Paid him in cash, a big deposit. Will you testify to that? I ask. Will you sign a statement? He hesitates. Sal's a dangerous guy. So is she, I reply. But we are stronger together. He thinks about it, then nods slowly. All right, I am in. That woman needs to be stopped. That night, we hold our first council of war in my living room. Me, Olivia, Mr. Chun, Ms. Ortiz, and Marcus. It feels like a resistance movement. We have our auditor, our tech expert, our inside source, and me, the guy with the car she wants. Olivia provides coffee and moral support, reminding us what we are fighting for, not just a car, but the right to live peacefully. Mr. Chun lays out a plan. We need to do a full forensic audit. We will start with the public records, the quarterly reports she had to publish. We will look for anomalies. Ms. Ortiz, can you try to dig up any emails or communications about board votes, especially emergency votes? Ms. Ortiz cracks her knuckles. I can set up a search algorithm to crawl the public HOA web portal for any deleted pages or cache documents. If she made a digital footprint, I will find it. Marcus, I say, we need to know more about how Sal's towing operates. Specifically, what happens to the vehicles they tow illegally? They go to a crooked auction house out by the airport, he says. They sell them fast for cash, with quick and dirty title work. The plan is forming. It is a three-pronged attack. The money, the process, the conspiracy. We spent hours huddled over my dining room table, which is now covered in bylaws, HOA newsletters, and printouts from my video logs. We are no longer just victims. We are investigators. We are a team. We are going line by line through the HOA bylaws, the very documents Brenda uses as her shield. But we are not looking for ways to obey them. We are looking for the ways she has broken them. We are taking her weapon and turning it back on her. As the meeting breaks up, a sense of hope settles over me for the first time in weeks. Brenda Foster may be smart and ruthless, but she is just one person, fueled by greed and ego. I look around at my new allies. We are a team fueled by coffee, shared injustice, and a burning desire to take back our neighborhood. She has no idea what is coming for her. The deep dive begins. Our little rebellion turns my house into a command center. By day, I go to work and pretend everything is normal. By night, we follow the threads. Mr. Chun is a bloodhound on the scent of a number. He sits at my dining table, a calculator in one hand, a red pen in the other, poring over the HOA's quarterly financial reports. These are the sanitized documents Brenda presents at meetings, the ones designed to be boring and confusing. But to Mr. Chun, they sing a song of deception. Look here, he says one night, stabbing a finger at a line item. Community landscaping and beautification. The budget was $40,000 for the year, but she's reported expenses of $90,000. And look at the vendor, Foster Garden Solutions. That is her maiden name. So, she is paying herself to plant petunias? Olivia asks, peering over his shoulder. She is paying a shell company she controls an extra $50,000 of our money. Mr. Chun corrects grimly. It is embezzlement, plain and simple. But it is hidden. We need the actual bank statements to prove it. Meanwhile, Ms. Ortiz works her digital magic. She discovers that the HOA website, which Brenda's crony, Mr. Thompson, maintains, has a public-facing archive. It is supposed to store minutes from all the board meetings. She is arrogant, Ms. Ortiz mutters, her fingers flying across her keyboard. She thinks no one would ever look this closely. She finds records of several emergency email votes held over the past year. These are votes conducted entirely by email between the three board members, Brenda, Thompson, and Scott. They are allowed by the bylaws, but only for true emergencies like a burst water main or storm damage. Brenda has been using them for everything. One emergency vote approved the massive landscaping budget. Another approved a $5,000 legal retainer with a law firm that does not seem to exist. And then Ms. Ortiz finds the smoking gun, An emergency vote held just 3 weeks ago to amend Bylaw 12, the section on vehicle violations. The amendment gives the HOA president unilateral authority to declare a vehicle a persistent nuisance and have it towed immediately, without the standard 30-day warning period. She rewrote the law to come after your car. I say, a cold fury rising in me. She did, Ms. Ortiz confirms. And she did it in secret. An email vote between her and her 2 puppets. They never announced the change to the community. It is a violation of the notification clause in the bylaws, Section 4, Paragraph B. All bylaw amendments must be mailed to homeowners within 7 days of passing. We have her on process. We have her on the money. Now we need to connect it to the cars. That is Marcus's mission. He knows the underworld of illegal towing. He spends a few days calling old contacts, trading favors, piecing together the puzzle. He comes back to us with a name, Route 7 Auto Auction. It is a chop shop with a business license, Marcus explains. Sal's Towing takes the cars there. They get fake title paperwork from a crooked guy at the DMV, and the cars are sold for cash in less than a week. The money gets split. A cut for the auction house, a cut for Sal, and a kickback for whoever ordered the tow. The whole rotten scheme lays bare before us. Brenda targets a car she wants or a resident she wants to punish. She uses her secret, illegal bylaw changes to justify a tow. She hires Sal's corrupt company to snatch the car. It gets sold at a dirty auction, and she gets a cash kickback. The homeowner is left with nothing but a bogus violation notice and a missing vehicle. She is not just a bully. She is the ringleader of a car theft syndicate funded by our own HOA dues. The final piece of proof comes from an unexpected place. Mr. Peterson, the man with the controversial garden gnome. After hearing about our investigation, he comes to my door, clutching a stack of papers. My sister's boy is a teller at the main branch of the bank the HOA uses, he says, his voice trembling with excitement. He cannot give me official records, you know, privacy and all, but he flagged dates and amounts from the HOA's posted summaries. Later, the auditor obtained bank statements by subpoena. Mr. Chin falls upon the slips like a starving man on a stake. He cross-references the dates and amounts with his notes. The pattern is damning. Large sums of our HOA dues, deposited as cash, are withdrawn days later, also in cash. The withdrawals, disguised as payments to her fake landscaping company, line up almost perfectly with the dates Marcus identified for major car auctions at the Route 7 chop shop. We have it, Mr. Chin whispers, his voice filled with awe. We have the whole trail. The fake votes to create the laws, the fake fines to create the pretext, the illegal tow to steal the property, the phony company to launder the money, and the cash kickbacks from the auction. We sit in silence for a moment, absorbing the sheer scale of her corruption. She built a perfect little kingdom of crime right here in our quiet suburban neighborhood. She was untouchable because no one ever thought to look this closely. No one dared. So what now? Olivia asks, breaking the silence. We go to the police. Yes, I say, but not just yet. We have the evidence, but she will deny everything. She will lawyer up. It will be her word against ours in a long, drawn-out court case. We need more. We need to expose her in public, in front of everyone she tricked. We need to set a trap she cannot escape. My eyes drift to the calendar on the wall. The annual all-hands HOA meeting is in 1 week. It is her big night, her State of the Union address. It will be a packed house. It is the perfect stage. We have the money trail. Now we just need to give her enough rope to hang herself in front of the entire neighborhood. The week leading up to the annual meeting is a blur of quiet, intense preparation. We are no longer just investigators. We are producers of a show, a tragedy in one act starring Brenda Foster. Ms. Ortiz is our technical director. She takes all our evidence, the video clips of Brenda snooping, the footage of the tow truck, the scans of the fake violation notices, the screenshots of the secret email votes, the flag dates from HOA summaries. The auditor later subpoenaed bank statements and weaves them into a single, devastating PowerPoint presentation. It is a masterclass in storytelling. It does not just present facts. It builds a narrative of escalating obsession and corruption. Each slide is a new chapter in the sordid tale of the Rolling Gate HOA. Mr. Chun is our script supervisor. He helps me rehearse my part. He coaches me to stay calm, to present the information clearly and without emotion. Let the facts speak for themselves, Liam, he advises, pacing my living room. Your anger will only give her an opening to dismiss you as hysterical. Be cold. Be factual. Be a surgeon laying out the details of a disease. Marcus is our key witness. He is nervous but resolute. He writes out a statement detailing his time at Sal's Towing, the cash payments, the illegal auctions, and the specific meeting he witnessed between his old boss and Brenda. He has it notarized. It is a powerful piece of testimony. Olivia, my loyal and brilliant wife, is our audience. She listens to my presentation over and over, pointing out where the message is unclear, where the impact could be stronger. You need to start with the car, she says. Everyone understands a car. The financial stuff is complicated. Hook them with the thing they can see, then show them the rod underneath. She is right as always. The plan is set. I will wait until the new business portion of the meeting agenda. It is the open floor section where homeowners can raise issues. Brenda always rushes through it, but she cannot legally skip it. I will stand up and request to make a brief presentation on community security and financial transparency. I will have a projector and laptop ready to go. Ms. Ortiz will be in the back of the room, ready to handle the tech. Mr. Chun and Marcus will be sitting in the front row, ready to corroborate the story. The night of the meeting arrives. The community center clubhouse is packed. More than 100 people are crammed into the small space. Brenda has clearly whipped up her supporters. The room is buzzing. She stands at the podium, beaming, soaking in the attention. She is wearing a power red dress, looking every bit the confident, beloved leader. She has no idea she is standing on a trapdoor. Her two bored cronies, Thompson and Scott, sit beside her, looking bored and smug. They think this is their victory lap. Brenda runs through the agenda with practiced efficiency. The reading of the previous minutes, the treasurer's report, a collection of lies presented beautifully by Mr. Thompson, the landscaping committee update, a glowing review of Brenda's own work by Brenda herself. I sit patiently, my heart a steady drum in my chest. I feel a strange calm, the same calm I felt when the tow truck was in my driveway. It is the clarity that comes when you know you are right, and you have the proof to back it up. Finally, she gets to the end of her list. And that brings us to new business, she says, a dismissive wave in her voice. If there are no new items, we can move to adjourn. I have an item, I say, standing up. My voice cuts through the room. Every head turns to me. Brenda's smile tightens. Mr. Miller, of course. Please be brief. We are all eager to get home. I say. I have a short presentation on neighborhood security and financial transparency. It will only take a few minutes. I nod to Ms. Ortiz, who hits a button. The projector hums to life, casting a bright white square on the screen behind Brenda. This is highly irregular, Brenda objects, but it is too late. The room is intrigued. A little drama to spice up the boring annual meeting. Just a few minutes, I repeat calmly, and I begin. The first slide is a picture of my blue BMW, gleaming in the sun. This is my car, I say. Some of you may have heard that our HOA president, Ms. Foster, believes it belongs to her. A murmur goes through the crowd. The next slide is the video of Brenda screaming thief in my driveway. I roll the clip where she shouts, "Arrest that thief." The room goes quiet. The audio is crystal clear. Gasps ripple through the room. I click again. A montage of the violation notices. The grass, the wreath, the shiny tires. People start laughing. It is absurd. Then the mood shifts. I show the footage of Brenda snooping around my house in the middle of the night. The laughter dies. I show the clip of her meeting with the tow truck driver. The room is silent. I play the video from inside my garage showing the two men breaking in, the chain scraping on the concrete, the car lurching backward. A woman in the front row gasps and covers her mouth. This attempted theft, I say, my voice level, was authorized by an emergency vote that none of us were ever told about. I put up the email from Ms. Ortiz's research, showing the secret vote by Brenda, Thompson, and Scott. Now for the money. This was never just about my car. I continue, clicking to the next slide. Mr. Chin's financial analysis appears on screen. The inflated landscaping budget, the payments to the company with Brenda's maiden name, the deposit slips showing massive cash transactions. I can feel the tide in the room turning. People are looking at Brenda, their faces filled with confusion, then suspicion, then anger. I pause, letting the numbers sink in. These cash withdrawals coincide perfectly with the sale of other illegally towed vehicles from our neighborhood at a place called Route 7 Auto Auction. I nod to Marcus. He stands up. I used to work for the tow company she hired. I saw her pay our boss in cash, he says, his voice shaking but strong. The room is on the verge of chaos. People are shouting questions. Brenda's face is white with rage. Her perfect composure is gone. She sees her kingdom crumbling. She sees the faces of her neighbors turned against her. She has lost control. And in that moment of panic, she makes her final, fatal mistake. She shoves past me, grabs the microphone from the podium, and decides to fight back. She thinks she can still talk her way out of it. Lies. These are all lies. Brenda's voice booms through the speakers, sharp and shrill. The calm, confident leader is gone, replaced by a cornered animal. Her eyes are wild. She glares out at the crowd, at the faces that adored her just 10 minutes ago. Now they look at her with doubt and disgust. This man, Liam Miller, is a troublemaker. He has been from the day he moved in. He flaunts his wealth with that car. He has no respect for our rules, our community. She is trying to regain control, to change the subject from her crimes to my supposed character flaws. But it is not working. The evidence on the screen behind her is too powerful. The video of the tow truck is still playing on a silent loop. The chain, the hook, the theft in progress. Everyone can see it. The bylaws are clear. She continues, her voice rising in pitch. I have a duty to protect the aesthetic harmony and property values of Rolling Gate. Sometimes that requires difficult decisions. It requires emergency actions that people like him, she says, pointing a trembling finger at me, are too simple to understand. I stand aside, silent, letting her have the stage. This is exactly what Mr. Chin predicted. Give her the rope. She is tying the noose herself. A homeowner near the front, a woman who always baked cookies for the HOA bake sale, stands up. But the money, Brenda? The landscaping company? Where did our money go? That is a legitimate business expense, Brenda snaps. Audited and approved by the board. She gestures wildly at Thompson and Scott, who are sinking lower in their chairs, trying to become invisible. They look terrified. Their queen is having a meltdown, and they are tied to her chariot. And the secret vote? Another voice calls out. Why weren't we told you changed the towing rules? It was an emergency, she shrieks. We had to act fast to deal with the problem. He was the problem. The whole room is buzzing now. The presentation has armed them with questions, and they are firing them like bullets. Brenda is getting frantic. She is losing. She knows it. And then she makes the slip, the one she can never take back. In her rage and desperation, trying to justify her actions, she forgets the microphone is live. She forgets the 100 pairs of ears listening to her every word. She forgets everything but her own righteous fury. Her hot mic records every word. You people don't get it, she yells into the microphone, her voice cracking. You have no idea what it takes to maintain a community like this. The sacrifices, the hard choices. That car, that beautiful car, doesn't belong with someone who doesn't appreciate our way of life. I was going to make an example of him. It was the only way. I was going to take that car and sell it myself to replenish the funds he was costing us with his defiance. Dead silence. A collective intake of breath. The hot microphone has captured a confession, a full, unambiguous confession. She did not just say she was going to have it towed. She said she was going to take it and sell it herself. She admitted the entire plot. The silence stretches for a full 5 seconds. In that silence, Brenda's face changes. The anger drains away, replaced by the dawning, horrific realization of what she has just done. She looks at the microphone in her hand as if it is a snake that just bit her. Then, from the back of the room, a new sound emerges, the heavy tread of boots and a radio click. First turn. Standing just inside the doorway are Officers Davis and Russo. They were not invited, but I had called the non-emergency line and told the dispatcher that I would be presenting evidence of felony crimes at the meeting and that the presence of officers might be prudent. They had been standing there, listening for the last 10 minutes. They walk forward, their footsteps heavy and methodical. The crowd parts for them like the Red Sea. They do not look at me. They do not look at the crowd. Their eyes are locked on Brenda Foster. She sees them coming. All the color drains from her face. She looks like a ghost. Officer Davis reaches the podium. He does not say a word. He just gently takes the microphone from her limp hand and places it on the lectern. Then, with a quiet, final sound that echoes through the silent room, he produces a pair of handcuffs. The click of the first cuff locking around Brenda's wrist is the loudest sound I have ever heard. Brenda Foster, Officer Davis says, his voice formal and devoid of all emotion. You are under arrest for conspiracy to commit grand theft auto, embezzlement, and insurance fraud. You have the right to remain silent. As Officer Russo leads her away, stone-faced and defeated, the room erupts. But it is not an eruption of anger anymore. It is an eruption of catharsis, a wave of relief. In the chaos, Mr. Chen climbs onto the stage. Motion to recall the entire board of directors, he shouts. Seconded, a dozen voices yell back. All in favor. The roar of "I" shakes the building. Thompson and Scott are gone before the vote is even counted, scurrying out a side door like the rats they are. The kingdom has fallen. The queen is dethroned. The war is over. Justice, it turns out, is a sound. It is the sound of handcuffs clicking shut. The aftermath is not chaos, but a strange, focused calm. The neighborhood, shocked out of its complacency, mobilizes. With Brenda gone and her cronies in hiding, we are left with a power vacuum. But instead of collapsing, the community steps up. An emergency interim board is formed that very night. Mr. Chun, the man Brenda tried to silence, is unanimously voted in as the temporary president. Ms. Ortiz takes over communications. Even Mr. Peterson, the gnome enthusiast, gets a seat at the table, representing, as he puts it, the long-suffering silent majority. Their first act is to hire a real, independent auditor to go through the HOA's finances. The discoveries are even worse than we imagined. Brenda's corruption ran deep. The fake landscaping company was just the beginning. She had fake legal retainers, fake maintenance contracts, and a slush fund of our money that she used for personal trips and luxury goods. The police, armed with this new evidence, expand their investigation. Thompson and Scott are arrested a few days later. They cooperate immediately, telling the police everything in exchange for a lighter sentence. Our next task is to rewrite the rules. We hold a series of town halls, not in the stuffy clubhouse, but outside on the community green. We go through the bylaws line by line, not as rulers and subjects, but as neighbors. We slash the absurdities. No more fines for grass height measured in millimeters. No more rules about the emotional state of garden gnomes. We build in transparency and accountability. All board votes must be held in public meetings, with minutes posted online within 24 hours. No single board member can authorize an expenditure over $500. And the towing regulations are completely overhauled. Towing is now a last resort, reserved only for abandoned or hazardous vehicles, and it requires a 48-hour written notice posted on the vehicle and a majority vote of the full board. We dismantle Brenda's weapons, turning them into tools for a fair and functional community. The legal process for me is separate but swift. I file a civil suit against Brenda for the harassment, the emotional distress, and the attempted theft of my car. I also sue for the physical damage, the deep scratches on the undercarriage where the tow hook was improperly attached. The evidence is overwhelming. My videos, the police report, the testimony from Marcus. The judge does not just award me financial damages to cover the repairs and my legal fees. He does something more important. He issues a permanent injunction, a restraining order that bars her from serving on any HOA board for 10 years and during probation by court order. He strips her of the one thing she craves, power over other people. Weeks turn into months. The rhythm of the neighborhood changes. The fear is gone. People start talking to each other again. Mr. Peterson's gnome gets a new, cheerful coat of paint and a tiny medal of honor that Olivia made for him. Mr. Chun, with the help of a lawyer, files a class action suit on behalf of the HOA. They go after Brenda's assets, the money she stole. Slowly, painstakingly, the funds start coming back. Restitution checks are mailed out to every homeowner who was a victim of her fine-for-profit scheme. Mine arrives one sunny afternoon. It is not a huge amount of money, but it feels like a fortune. It feels like victory. One Saturday, I am out in the driveway, polishing the BMW. The midnight blue paint shines, the scratch on the frame underneath long since repaired. The car is no longer a target. It is just a car again, a beautiful machine that I enjoy driving. The street is quiet, but it is a comfortable quiet now, filled with the sounds of kids playing and lawnmowers humming in the distance. The long shadow of Brenda Foster has finally receded. Olivia comes out with 2 glasses of lemonade. She hands one to me and leans against the car, looking down our peaceful street. "You know," she says, "I was thinking. You answered the question." "What question?" I ask. "How far a man will go to defend his own," she says with a small smile. Turns out it is as far as it takes. All the way to a packed community meeting with a projector and a plan. I look at my house, my wife, my car, my quiet street. This is what I was defending. Not just the stuff, but the right to enjoy it in peace. I put my arm around Olivia. "I had a good team," I say. I hit the button on the wall. The garage door hums, slowly lowering itself down. It is not a curtain falling on a drama anymore. It is just a door closing on a home. At last, justice is not always loud. Sometimes, it is just the return of quiet.